Hello everybody, this is another Hot Wheels Collector video. Today we are looking at the 1967 Ford GT40 Mark IV from the 2022 Hot Wheels mainline. This is of course done in the Gulf livery, and this is one of the very few Gulf cars which I actually really do like the look of. For some reason I just don't think it fits on a whole lot of cars, this livery, but I know there's a big fan base behind it, so I'm going to be very careful with what I say about how I feel about this. But I really like this car, I really do. So without further ado, let's get into this racing car and some facts about it. So first of all, I found that this car either had a 4.7 litre V8 or a 7 litre V8. Those two engines kept popping up. It was more popular the 7 litre one, and that's what the sources were saying anyway, so I don't really know which engine was the one they used, or did they use both? I'm not sure, somebody can probably enlighten me on that. Obviously it being a V8 though, we knew that, and that produced 500 horsepower and 531 newton meters of torque. Very impressive figures, especially for back then. This car also had a 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds and a top speed of 220 mph. This is obviously the racing version. There were a few examples of this made to road specs, so obviously being allowed on the actual open roads and not just on the racetrack, but this one is created solely for racing and actually being on the track. Overall, Ford spent $3 million to create this car, and that was spent over a 3-year period, so that works out at $1 million per year. That's quite an impressive amount that was spent by Ford, and quite a quick time to make the car, to be honest. Only 3 years is not too bad to create an entire car. And this car is definitely one of Ford's most iconic cars. I feel like the Ford GT kind of, it's an absolute legend in the racing scene. Absolute legend, and absolutely everybody knows at least one of the Ford GTs, whether it's the newer ones or the older ones like this. Anyways, let's get into the actual showcase of this car, where I'll go into the actual details on the car in more depth. Alright, so starting off with the side of this car, we have 5-spoke orange chrome wheels, very nice, suits the car tremendously. As for the colour of this car, it is done in baby blue, very good to see that, obviously the classic Gulf colours there. You can also see this casting does not have any wing mirrors, which is unfortunate in my opinion. We can also see there is an orange stripe which runs along the entire skirt of this car. It has some sponsors, including Firestone, and it also has Ryu Asada's logo. This is because this is one of Ryu Asada's rides, and it was a car that he designed before he sadly passed away a few years ago. You can also see there is a nice number 9 on the side of the car. I'm not entirely sure what that actually means to this car, as usually the racing number on the cars when they include it means something to the car. This is obviously the Mark IV, so it doesn't have anything to do with that. You can see that's done in black, and then it is outlined with a white circle, and then that circle is outlined with black. Very nice. You can also see the Hot Wheels logo has been done in black there. Now moving on to the front of this car, you can see it is done very nicely in terms of tampo. On the actual front, which is very small, as this is a very sloping front end, there is no tampo work, but there is a lovely carved out grille. It's quite hard to see, that being in an oval shape, accurate to the real car. You can also see the headlights are created using the window plastic, which is tinted quite a lot, as you can see there. You can also see in the metal casting itself, it has the 2 small hood vents there, as well as the larger one near the window. You can also see that orange stripe which runs from the very front of the car to the very rear of the car. And there is also that returning number 9 in the exact same design as the side. This car does have windshield wipers on the window, as you can see there. Very nice detailing, as you can see there. This side is the same as the previous, so I will not bore you with this one. You can obviously pause the video and have a look if you're looking for something yourself. But this casting is really nice. It has lots of different engravements, which I didn't talk about. It has the door handle engraved, as well as a few vents and all sorts of different things. And it's very accurate to the real life model, as I've already really said 1,000,001 times, but it really is really nice casting. Moving along to the rear of the car, this is quite an interesting section. So the rear lights have been carved out, so you can add your own details using Sharpie, acrylic paint, or any other tool that you usually would use. If you're a customizer, you probably know what you're doing already. That's really the only details that are missing on this car, to be entirely honest. You can see the exhaust section is created using the grey interior plastic, as the base of this car is actually done in a baby blue as well, similar to the colour of the car. You can see that continuation of the stripe onto the spoiler there. This is quite a large ducktail spoiler there, very nice to see. Obviously, once again, accurate to the real life model. Taking a look at the roof of this car, and like the top, you can see that orange stripe runs from the very rear to the front. You can see that in more detail. I will show you the complete top view there. There is some nice detailing. There is a vent on the top of the car, as well as this large bulge, which I'm not entirely sure what it's for. And actually, if I can move this car around a little bit, you can actually see the engine is detailed in there using the interior plastic. You can see it through that rear window. Very nice to see. Usually Hot Wheels kind of neglect the engine section of the cars, but honestly it is there and it's lovely to see. Once again, I'm going to say it, it's accurate to the real life model. Anyways, that's really it for this car. Very, very nice. I think this is perhaps the nicest colour that this car has ever been seen in to date. And yeah, there was obviously a red one as well, which is absolutely awesome too. I believe that was also from 2022, although it may have been the year before actually. I'm not entirely sure what year that one came out. But anyway, I know that this one's 2022 and early 2022 at that. Anyways, let's get into my actual final thoughts and my review on this car. Alright, so now for my final thoughts and review on this car. I think this is an awesome addition to the Hot Wheels mainline lineup. This casting is done amazingly and there is nothing wrong with it at all. It is very accurate to the real life model and is another Ryu Sada's amazing cast. He's done so many great ones and he never fails to impress. And this is no exception. It's absolutely awesome. Obviously Ryu Sada usually designed the Japanese stuff, but it is really, really cool to see that he's actually designed this as well. A very historic American Ford car that will be remembered forever. Anyways, let's get into my actual final review. What am I going to rate this car out of 10? It's quite a tough one, but I'm going to give this car a solid 9 out of 10. I think it's a really, really cool one. It isn't quite a 10 out of 10. The only thing that's missing is the wing mirrors. And yes, this is a perfect car. It's executed amazingly. The colour fits this car perfectly. And this car just has got to be in that racing livery. It has to have some kind of racing design. Otherwise, it just looks bare and it doesn't look right. Anyways, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Remember, you can also press that notification bell so you do not miss any new uploads, and you obviously get the notification of when I do upload a new video. Remember, you can also share this video with any friends, family, or in any groups who may be interested. But remember, don't feel pressured to do that and send it to anyone. If you don't feel like you have anybody who may be interested in the video, you watching this video to the very end means so much to me, and I really do thank you for watching all the way to the end. Anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye everyone.